Please welcome to the stage Christina Lord and Ben Morris.
Imagine what could be different if technology didn't hold brands back. What could be possible if businesses could stay nimble while growing? On main stage, Katie reveals the vision of Shopify Plus. She pointed to a foundational shift in the way our platform will solve for the management of stores, users, and automation. What we're announcing today is just the start. What we're building specifically for our merchants aims to bring Shopify closer to becoming the heart of a business. Today, Ben and I will dive into what we have in store. First, we'll look at the new Shopify Plus. We're going to make the lives of business administrators easier, giving them more visibility and control. We'll give teams the infrastructure they need to work on an organization level, confidently and effectively, and ensure they move at the speed of their ideas with automation. Then we'll get into some features available now that you can leverage to create powerful buyer experiences for your most tech-forward merchants. And we'll continue to build. We'll cover how we're thinking about the future of Shopify Plus and the opportunities that you, our partners, will have to be part of this vision. But for now, let's begin our exploration by looking at some of the problems faced by organizations today. To understand why our largest merchants need more out of Shopify, we need to look at the architecture of our platform and how we address everyone and everything that touches it. Here we have a Shopify store. A store is powerful and allows merchants to sell online, in person, and across channels. Stores are where merchants access key parts of their business. The store serves many people, and these folks are highly specialized. They work on every part of the business, from logistics to merchandising and so much more. And they need features and functionality that are not natively built into Shopify. And so, they look to apps. The public apps that many of you build give merchants the choice to individualize the Shopify experience in a powerful and affordable way. And with our merchants, they need to customize a lot of their experience, with many having around 20 installed apps on each store. We also leverage this capability with our own apps. Shopify Flow, Launchpad, and Scripts. These are automation tools designed for efficiency. Many of you build custom integrations. With these, merchants can lean on custom functionality, uniquely suited to their business needs. These integrations can power how merchants operate a custom storefront to sell anywhere or manage their data outside of Shopify. Our merchants adopt ERPs to automate core processes or lean on technology outside of Shopify. As you can see here, there is a lot going on, and all of this multiplies when we look at a global business. Now that's more like it. Here, a store is a tactic, a powerful way in which merchants can expand into new markets around the world and explore new business models like B2B. Sandbox or development stores are also important. They allow you to work in a safe environment, moving fast with less risk, without impacting real orders or real buyers. You see, here we've got expansion stores and development stores acting as tools, which give merchants control and independence. But the benefits can really vary depending on the size of the business. Larger international brands like to have different regional teams managing different regional stores, where each market operates separately. But merchants on their way to scaling haven't reached that point yet. They've got one team managing all of their global stores. And this is where we see some challenges. Staff have to work across stores and a multitude of apps. This means they'll have to repeat the same task again and again on each store. This exposes the business to more errors that are hard to find and fix. The people that manage user access, the administrators, don't have a ton of visibility either. They can't get a clear view over who has access to what across stores and apps, and they can't control that access easily. Users at every level of the business are impacted by this disconnect, and it doesn't end here. This is how complicated it can get. As more stores are added, merchants need more ways to connect the business. All of this impacts you, our partners, as well. You experience the same headache when working with merchants to access stores and build solutions. With this model, it's less and less possible for businesses to stay nimble while growing. Without an architecture that supports the needs of a business, it's hard to finish simple tasks. Understanding the business becomes difficult and expensive. Experimenting and testing isn't easy.
Thanks, Christina. What we're announcing will unlock new capabilities for complex merchants. We're releasing essential tools that will allow a merchant to manage their entire business on Shopify. This foundation will give us and partners like yourselves a solid footing on which to build everything that a merchant needs for years to come. We're focused on 3 pillars of this foundation: simplified management of users, stores, and automation, all of which are tied together through the introduction of a new entity called an organization. Historically, the store has been the root object of Shopify. It had all of the merchants' users, products, everything that they needed. But now the organization expands Shopify's model of a business and aggregates stores together into a group. This change is important to understand how we're now modeling our merchants on Shopify. The organization sits above Shopify stores, effectively joining them, allowing us to build tools that span many stores and workflows that operate across them. With single sign-on available now, all Shopify users have a single account, which they can use to log into their stores and other services. This really eliminates a lot of the friction that was previously in place for managing multiple stores. But with Plus, we're going further and addressing tools and data across stores. The organization expands Shopify's model of a business and is the core of the all-new Plus. It gives us a strong and flexible framework to build on for the future. We are so proud to be sharing with you what we've been working on. The very first time that a Plus merchant enters Plus, this is what they'll see. For the first time ever, Plus merchants can now view and navigate across their entire business in one place, native on Plus. This dashboard will be the very first thing that they see every morning when they log into Shopify. It reveals a high-level overview of performance across all of their stores on an aggregate as well as a per-store basis. This view lets leaders keep a pulse on their business. They'll be able to see sales numbers, assess trends, and even spot problems if there's been a sudden shift in sales or orders. This view also lives behind a brand new permission, so only those that should have access to it do. Fixed navigation bar sticks to the top of every page as the merchant moves across Plus, so that they'll always be able to access stores, users, flow, and other tools. So now let's dive into how a couple of these tools is going to work. First up is stores. Stores are no longer a fragmented and disconnected unit of a merchant's business. As Christina mentioned earlier, stores are commonly used by our largest merchants as a powerful growth tactic. And in the past, managing them has actually been a little bit painful. An account owner would first have to go to shopify.com, sign up for a trial store, and then talk to their MSM or Shopify support, all before that store could be added to their business. These actions could also only be taken by a single user, just the one account owner. Nobody else in the business actually had the ability to do this. Here, technology slowed merchants down. Adding more stores felt more like a challenge and less like an opportunity. That's one of the reasons why we're making store creation and management way easier. Soon, stores will be as easy to manage as a product is today. Store management now rests in the merchant's hands. This new self-serve feature allows administrators to quickly add development and expansion stores all at the click of a button. Instead of being a long and involved process to decide if an expansion store is the right move, merchants can now quickly spin up a new one and get selling in minutes. We expect this to pretty fundamentally change how people think of stores. When stores are easy to create, it will unlock a whole new level of experimentation. Merchants will be able to trial an expansion into a new market with low risk. You'll be able to create a pop-up store in seconds. They'll even be able to grow an entirely new brand, all without disrupting current operations. This also leads to brand new and interesting development workflows. Merchants can quickly spin up a development store to trial and test apps, themes, settings, really whatever they want. Every one of their developers can also have access to 1, 2, or 100 development stores, keeping development apps away from production data and keeping things a little bit more secure. We expect to see many more merchants leverage this tactic and see an increase in the number of stores used. So now that we've made the management and creation and removal of stores easy, we need to do the same thing with who has access to them. Our merchants have a lot of experience with this. They're often on the go and work on mobile, and this includes managing their large groups of employees. Sometimes, though, they have to react quickly and remove access for a user who just left the business. In the past, this has been actually kind of hard. The single account owner would have to log into a store, navigate to the users list, and then find the user and then revoke access on every single one of their stores. Something this urgent should not take so long to complete. This is one of the reasons why user management has been a major focus for us. We're making it easier now for administrators to see who all of their users are across their entire organization with a single list view. Here, merchants can define access once and then have it apply to all of their stores at the same time. Adding and editing permissions can be completed with just a couple of clicks. Do it once and then feel confident that the right users have the right level of access. We'll also allow merchants to grant multiple administrators the ability to perform actions previously only available to a single account owner. Soon, more than one user will be able to grant or revoke user access, view invoices or billing information, or even change payment methods. This will give more freedom to the team, but still keep essential security and access restrictions. For the first time ever, an account owner is actually going to be able to take a vacation. With these changes, merchants aren't just managing users on an account, they're actually managing their employees across their entire business natively on Shopify. The last tool I want to talk about here is Shopify Flow. So far, Plus merchants have automated over 1.8 billion workflows. And we believe that automation is critical to managing a successful business. That's why we've built Shopify Flow right into Plus from the very beginning. In Shopify Plus, merchants will be able to quickly build, understand, and enable workflows from one central place. They'll be able to see a list and a summary of each workflow's recent activity and performance data, and even be able to edit its logic. All of this without having to log into multiple stores. Flow is no longer an app. It's been built right into the core of Shopify Plus, so it's easy and fast to manage critical business automation. With templates released earlier this year, merchants can browse a list of commonly used workflows and decide to use one for their business. With Shopify Plus, they'll be able to install that workflow into all of their stores with just one click, reclaiming their employees' time for more valuable tasks. So what I've just shown you is only our first iteration. The new Shopify Plus, with organization-level data aggregation and management of stores, users, and flow, will be available in closed beta in the coming months. We'll be looking for multi-store merchants who have the time to provide regular feedback to our user experience team. So if you know any merchants or you have any, please let us know. We would love to be in touch with them. We're aiming to complete the beta and release the all-new Shopify Plus later this year. You'll be notified well in advance, so stay close to your inbox and keep in touch with your partner manager to stay informed.
Thanks, Ben. It's really exciting stuff. The all-new Shopify Plus is just one way we're delivering what big brands need to succeed. For the next 5 minutes, we're going to cover new and improved APIs and implementations that are now available that you can leverage. This is part of our promise to work together to deliver the best buyer experiences for our merchants. Today, David and our panel of partner experts dove into some really unique ways our merchants are using Shopify's Storefront API to power Headless Commerce. For those that aren't familiar, Headless Commerce refers to the architecture that underpins an e-commerce solution, where the front end and the back end stand completely independent of each other. It's device and platform agnostic, which gives you more freedom to build in your preferred programming language. It allows you to empower merchants to go to market faster. When development teams can work in parallel, changes can be made to the front end without disrupting back-end technology. Over the past month, we've made new versions of a storefront API available. Now, we support how you can access multi-currency, metafields, and Shopify scripts. Now, everyone might be buzzing about Headless, but we know that the online store remains a powerful tool. So, we're excited to share some ways that we're improving the online store by adding personalization powers within Shopify. It's common for merchants to focus investment on marketing tactics that attract buyers. But when businesses have tens of thousands of SKUs across many collections, what good was all of that spend when buyers can't navigate the site? What tactics give the best ROI to help buyers better find what they want to buy? We've launched 2 improvements to help buyers find more of the products they'll love. With 4 ways to do it available today, you can add product recommendations across the online store. Buyers navigating different pages will be able to see the products that they're most likely to buy. And this is where the true power lies. Without compromising speed, our recommendations will appear based on Shopify's rich data and machine learning algorithms. We'll show products that are purchased together and those with similar descriptions to help buyers discover more relevant products. With your support, the look and feel can also be customized for a seamless implementation. Another update that leans in Shopify's data and speed is improved storefront search. We know that buyers who perform on-site search are more likely to buy, compared to those that just lean on standard navigation. But if that search experience isn't fast and relevant, it can actually hurt the sale. Leverage our JSON implementation and enable predictive search on the online store, designed with speed in mind. Here's how it works. Buyers can type in as little as 1 character and quickly get up to 10 results. Buyers will always see results. Now every search becomes an opportunity to make a sale. We'll keep making search better too. We'll use algorithms to predict a user's query as they type. This would help buyers who are not sure what to search for find exactly what they need. Soon, predictive search will be available within the online store design experience. And we'll make search and recommendations even more accessible, supporting not just English language storefronts, but additional languages as well. With many ways to make it work for a business, you can better support your merchants to provide fast and personalized experiences with significantly less investment. The last way we're making buyer experiences better is by empowering existing localization solutions. And so, we're solving for storefront language translations. As you may know, apps are the recommended way to translate a single online store into multiple languages. But today, we don't allow apps to provide a great experience. Not everything can be translated, and page performance can be slow, which can really turn off international buyers. Now, with storefront language translations, instead of asking apps to make a lot of theme customizations, we'll allow apps to provide translations to Shopify for online store, checkout, and post-order workflows. Shopify will then show these translations natively via Liquid and handle multi-language SEO. Today, we're in beta with select translations partners. Now, together with you, we're a few steps closer to serving the needs of our merchants on a global scale. But what's available today is just the start. There's so much more we're thinking about.
That's right, Christina. This is just the beginning. We've been building the foundations of an amazing new experience. For the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you how the products that we're about to release are built with large brands in mind to help them simplify business management and create incredible buyer experiences. What we're exploring next is a whole new world that will continue to deliver on this promise and open up more opportunities for all of you. Accessing this new environment is going to be important for your success in supporting merchants. We're planning to let you and your developers create your own Shopify Plus development organizations right through the partners dashboard, exactly as you create development stores today. So that you can move quickly and develop against real live Shopify Plus organizations to test apps and themes and create compelling demos for new prospects that you want to bring to Shopify. Organizations will change how you think about the Shopify platform and unlock new experiences that weren't previously possible. Our partners are hugely important to us, so we're thinking about how we'll make organizations accessible to you and to all of your apps. We want to give you the tools to build apps and integrations above and across stores at the organization level. So we're exploring ways to make that possible. We'll first give you the ability to understand and be informed by the organization, and then go further and provide tools to allow you to build apps and integrations with it in mind. The organization will inform how you look at the full landscape of a Shopify merchant, and we expect it to affect how you want to market your apps and services. In the future, you'll be able to sell and market your apps or services to an entire organization, not just a single store. We're looking at ways to allow merchants to be able to install one of your apps into 5 of their stores all at the same time, and allow you to generate one bill or invoice for an entire organization, not just a store. This is one of the areas, though, that we need your help. What sort of apps and integrations will you build at the organization level? And what would you do if a merchant could install one of your apps into 5 stores at once? And then we'll let you know through the API what organization that was. Please take the time to chat with us after the talk, because we would love to hear from you. So a little earlier, I talked about how merchants will be able to manage stores, users, and flow at the organization. We think it's a pretty good start, but we are definitely not stopping there. We want the experience of working in Shopify Plus to be consistent, no matter how a merchant chooses to market their products. Whether they choose to utilize 1 online storefront or 5, and regardless of how many channels they distribute to, back office operations should remain the same. We're going to double down on giving merchants the ability and freedom to experiment while keeping the overall experience consistent and simple. We're exploring aggregated views of core Shopify objects across stores, like products, orders, and customers, like Katie was talking about on main stage earlier today. And all this regardless of which store they were created on. When a Canadian customer calls in to support to ask about an order that they mistakenly made on the US store, there's no need to frantically log in to every store and search to try and locate that order. In the future, merchants will be able to go to one place and see all of their orders. With these tools, we're making a merchant's data more manageable. But that comes along with increased need for security and controls. Earlier this year, we released app and export permissions, and we know that there's more to do. So it remains on our roadmap, and we're going to be addressing it. We'll be giving administrators the tools that they need to make sure that the right users have the right level of access, and making it easy to manage with bulk tools like user roles. This will help avoid costly and dangerous mistakes, and make it easier for administrators to quickly act on staffing decisions. We've outlined a lot of reasons why merchants may want to leverage multiple storefronts, but it does come with some challenges. With multiple stores comes multiple homes for data, and it's critical to be able to find exactly what you're looking for, exactly when you need it. A couple of minutes ago, Christina talked about how we're improving storefront search, and we're going to be doing exactly the same thing with the Shopify admin search. We're investing more in this area to make it easy to find exactly what you're looking for, exactly when you need it. A persistent search will follow you no matter where you are in the admin or plus. Find exactly what you're looking for with just a couple of keystrokes, no matter which store an object lives on. If you think back to that example of the Canadian customer calling about their order, soon you'll be able to type just the first few letters of that customer name and instantly be presented with their customer record along with a list of all of their previous orders. We think that this will lead to a much better buyer experience and probably cut costs for your support team. Finding and viewing existing data is important, but what about new integrations or keeping data in sync between stores? We're going to be leveling up our native capabilities to transfer data between stores without the need to export manually. With the underlying technology already available to Plus merchants through our data migration tool, we'll make it possible to have data available to be easily copied or kept in sync. And all of this without the need to export manually and deal with spreadsheets.
Thanks, Ben. Okay, we're in the home stretch. The next 5 minutes, the last thing we're going to cover is automation. We believe that automation is critical to helping businesses succeed. By automating routine tasks, you can free up your merchants' time to focus on more valuable things, to help them stand out and better serve their customers. And so with that, let's turn to Shopify scripts. Half of all Plus merchants use scripts to automate and customize buyer experiences on cart and checkout. But we want to make some improvements to make it even more valuable to even more businesses. Today, scripts run on our servers. Shopify handles the maintenance and scaling needs. But to make sure everything runs quickly, we've had to apply CPU memory and character limits. Our current scripts engine forces developers to work within this web-based editor, and it can be pretty limiting. And despite improvements that we've made to this editor, it's actually not that accessible for non-technical merchants. I'm excited to announce we've started exploration work on a brand new engine that will address these limitations. The new Shopify scripts will be built on WebAssembly and will move the platform well beyond what it's currently capable of, effectively removing many of the constraints of scripts. Soon, scripts will have a much higher CPU memory and character allowance. Merchants would have the flexibility to choose the trade-off between functionality and performance based on their needs. We'll also have a much more friendly developer experience. Scripts can soon be created right from your laptop in a native, non-web-based experience using our brand new command line tools. You'll be free to create, test, and publish scripts right from this new CLI. I was really a fan of this. We're also exploring broader language support. Currently, Scripts only supports Ruby, but we're looking to explore additional languages like TypeScript and JavaScript. But we still have more to do. We want to make sure we're building what you need to support your clients. Okay, in the coming months, we'll have a developer preview ready. You'll be able to use the next version of Shopify scripts. And most importantly, you'll be able to share feedback on how it's built. If you're interested in trying it out once it's available, you can sign up for access at shopify.com/scriptsbeta. And if you have any questions, please find our product manager, David Cameron, in the back. He's waving, after this talk. Okay, so we've just rolled through a lot. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I bet some of that sparked some questions and feedback, and that is exactly what we want. There's a few ways you can go about it. You can schedule some one-on-one time with a Plus launch engineer. Our Plus office hours run most of the day today and tomorrow and are a great opportunity to get some hands-on technical support with our available APIs. We've also got a Plus roundtable session today happening just around the corner. You'll have a chance to network and engage with other partners building for Plus, and you'll be able to share some feedback on what you've heard in small facilitated discussions. Finally, you can find us after this talk. Ben and I have asked a lot from you, and we'll continue to do so. Tell us what more we should be thinking about. Let us know what opportunities you need to continue to thrive. We've just explored how we're going to support the needs of the world's largest businesses. We're about to start an evolution. We've signed up for the ambitious task of modeling Shopify to the true architecture of a business. We've built support for users, store management, automation, and customization. And we have so much more on the horizon. Sharing our vision with you today is twofold. We want you to know what we're building, so you can prioritize your roadmap and rest assured we're thinking about the complex needs of our merchants. Together, we'll give more support to our merchants. Let's continue to disrupt and change the way the world does commerce. Thank you.
So I think Christina and I and the fly are going to
What
take
is
some of your
happening?
questions. We have the iPad here. Okay. Okay. So first question, when will a shared cart be available across multiple brand stores? It's not something that's on the roadmap right now. It's something that I think that we're always thinking about things like that, but there's no ETA on that right now. So how can app developers that develop an embedded app leverage this new structure? It's a great question. It's something that we're going to be talking to a bunch of you about. If you'd like to talk about like your specific instance, please come up to us after the talk or take advantage of some of the things that Christina mentioned. There's going to be lots of Shopify folk around. Concretely, it's something that we're looking at for sure. We know that the organization is going to be something that's really important for a lot of apps. So we'll have more information in the next little while. Is there a path for my? I just changed. Okay. How to handle storefront API key under one organization. So I think that one is around like the actual storefront API across multiples. Storefront API is still definitely very much at the store level. So just like you'll have the online web store or some channels, those all exist at the store level. So same with the storefront API. So you'll use, if you have 5 different stores, you might want to use 5 different storefront APIs. It's kind of up to you. You might want to also funnel it all through one master. Kind of depends on the instance that we're actually talking about here. Is there a path for migrating settings stored in the theme to a specific entity, example, existing product tabs, or will this content need to be recreated? So I think that was something that we talked about right at the end there. With migrating data is something that we definitely know we need to do. There's the tool that already exists, which I think I mentioned, which was the data migration tool available to Plus merchants. We're going to be expanding on that. There's also Transporter, which we released last year, which works pretty well for migrating data between stores. It is something that we're looking at, though, for how to actually keep that in sync across multiple stores. Will the customer record be the same across all stores? So I think that Katie kind of addressed that this morning on main stage, if you remember that. We're looking at having customers rolled up into a single view across all of Plus. Exactly how that's going to be done is still a little bit TBD. But I think that we'll need to provide the flexibility to be able to both link customers and merge them, and then also have them separate if they happen to be separate for whatever reason. Orders and products, when can they be managed from the org level? It's something that we don't have a date for right now, but we're expecting later this year, sort of thing. How will billing work? Single bill to the org or individual business units? Good question. That's something that we're still kind of determining as well. I think that we need to provide the flexibility to do both, likely, depending on what you mean by business unit in that case. It's going to kind of depend on the specific instance of what you're talking about there. Sometimes you will want to have one bill for just this organization, or potentially we want to provide structures that let us kind of break it up into multiples. But I think if you come up and talk to us afterwards, we can talk a little bit more about specifics. Thank you. All right, let's do one more. Any plans to allow merchants to set an RRP, recommended retail price, for customers? Merchants with stock lists can't rely on conversion values. That I'm actually not sure of. We can connect you with somebody that would be better able to answer that question, though, afterwards if you come up and chat with us. Cool. Well, thank you all very much for coming. Enjoy the rest of the couple days.
Thank you.